LaGrange to give you the inside scoop on Troup Tigers football.
Hey, let me turn my my drink around. You know, like Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, they have the little Coca-Cola symbol. That's what we're going to do. We're getting paid for tonight. You know that? A lot of money. Coca-Cola sponsoring Troup High football tonight. Did you get free pizza? Free pizza. That's right, from Johnny's Pizza. Hey, welcome to the Troup Coaches Show. Kia of LaGrange sponsors here live at Johnny's Pizza every Monday night. We come on the air at 8 o'clock, and you guys come on out and join us. It's a nice place to have some pizza. Come out at lunch and have a $7.99 buffet. They've been doing that for about a month, and it's been fabulous. Well, Coach, we were well, I won't say we had an open week last week. I keep wanting to say we had an off week. But
you're learning.
I'm learning. There's no such thing as an off week, but certainly a bye week. And I know you gave the guys a little bit of a break. A couple of mornings they've got to kind of get their feet back up under them, and it's about halfway through the season. Actually, a little short of halfway through the season, Coach. You know, that's what we're praying for, that there's a few more games left in this season. But you got a chance to kind of get them some rest, and so comment a little bit on kind of what your strategy was last week, and then you hit me something a while ago with this hurricane coming in. I'm normally a weather guy. I just totally missed this.
Well, I think the bye week was really, really good for us. We did some things, and seeing them out there today back on the grass, they looked fast. They ran around really good. We got everybody participating in practice today, and so we had some bumps and bruises last week where we had a couple guys out of practice getting therapy and certain things. But we spent all last week out of the weight room, and that's something we've never done in my whole career. But we felt the need to pay close attention to our academics. We didn't want it to start sliding away from us, especially as we get closer to the 9 weeks and into the playoffs, with semester coming up and stuff. So we spent that whole week working on academics and therapy and getting our kids back healthy. And we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, gave them Monday and Friday off. We gave them this Sunday off because the game plan was already installed for LaGrange. And so feel pretty good. And the kids moved around really good today. It was upbeat. The tempo was good. And so hopefully it'll pay off for us.
Well, good. It's as far as, taking that week, like I say, you had a couple of guys I know with some twisted ankles and what have you, and some bruised shoulders and I'm assuming you didn't really go live contact or hard contact at all last week.
We thudded a little bit, so we didn't put them on the ground, but we did some thud stuff several of those days just to keep up with the speed of the game. And so we did some thud again today, and some periods were live today and some periods were thuds, just depending on what period we were in. But it was good, and for the most part, stayed away from the injury bug today and stayed off the ground.
You can comment better than I can on this, but Coastal Carolina, I want to say the coach has a unique approach to some of his coaching. At least I was reading, seems like last year, where he was they didn't really practice in pads a lot. They just came out and I guess we'll call T-shirts and shorts and helmets and it tended to work for him for a way. But there's some coaches, I feel like personally, you got to have a little. You got to get used to getting hit.
Well,
and
up until this year, our practices have been very, very physical. But this is a veteran team that we have that is very, very physical. If we're not careful, we're physical on each other, and so this team more
no Oklahoma drills, huh?
Well, maybe early in camp. There's times for that. Summer practice, spring practice, certain things, but. We're getting to the point now. We just got to make sure each week that we get up in our run fits right, depending on what offense we're seeing, and try to keep everybody off the ground as much as we can, because this team right here, they're physical and they'll get after it. And I'm not worried about that on Friday nights. And sometimes when you're worried about the physicality, you got to run them together a little bit more than you have to with this team that we have.
I got you. I'll tell you what, you guys come on out and join us here live at Johnny's Pizza on the Parkway. Johnny's New York-style pizza, sponsored by Kia of LaGrange. You're listening to Troup High Coaches Corner. We'll be back shortly.
just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.
Now back to the Coach's Corner live at Johnny's New York Style Pizza on Eagle 102.3, WLAG 96.9, and online at eagle1023.com.
Hey, welcome back to Johnny's Pizza here at Troup Coach's Corner, sponsored by Kia of LaGrange. I tell you what, just talking about technical difficulties, we've got this. I think Rodney Costley is one of your biggest fans here, and he was telling us about Michael. I think they need to name a hurricane after Rodney. Hurricane Rodney.
That'd be good.
I hear you, but and I guess you guys have got to kind of plan for this week as well. You know, the anticipated inclement weather.
Well, and we're all tracking that, and that's it's kind of out of your hands. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. The first and foremost is just safety of the kids. Make sure people are not stuck at school or traveling back and forth in this kind of weather that's being projected. But we'll wait and see. There's one of those things that you always have a backup plan, and we plan for almost every situation we can think of, and so we'll put a plan in place, or there is a plan in place, but we'll have a plan to follow if things go that route. So we'll wait and see.
So I'm looking at some of the Max Prep stats and the Georgia High School records and schedules, and you couldn't help but see some of the stats here, midway through the season where Kobe is ranked about 6th in the state as far as passing yards. He's got a little over, 1,500 or so?
Mm-hmm. I think it's 1,600.
I don't have my glasses on.
1,649, something in that neighborhood.
And how do they rely, when I say they, I'm talking about Max Prep and Georgia High School, do they rely on you guys funding the stats to them?
Yeah, you put them in, but it's, those things, the opposing coaches have the ability to see all that as well. So,
okay.
You can't really,
fudge numbers.
You can't
well, why
really
would you want to do that?
No, you really wouldn't. And so you always go through and you double check it. And when you put it in a spreadsheet in like Huddle, it kind of sets it for you.
Okay.
In other words, if you had first down on the 20,
yeah, and
then you move the ball and you went and plugged in, the ball moved to the 32-yard line, well, it's automatically a 12-yard gain. It doesn't give you 25 yards, and so, if you start fudging those numbers, everything gets kind of out of whack, and it's not beneficial to anybody. So, those are good numbers, and he's having a really good season. If he stays healthy, him running the ball and throwing the ball, he's a dual threat guy, and we're just glad he's on our side. Well,
and speaking of being glad, also glad that he's amongst the Player of the Year on the watch, if you will. He's eased up in there now, and I think they typically roll around about 10 players each week. What they call it, Georgia High School will look at a Player of the Year, whether it be a quarterback, tailback, wide receiver, defensive linebacker, who knows. But and so Kobe's brought himself into that position, so we're pulling for him for sure. And then, of course, looking at Jamari's got over 450 yards receiving. Jamari Thrash, that is, for the Tigers. And Kobe's done a good job at spreading that ball around. So it's he didn't have that one receiver that's got 1,000 yards receiving because he's used Joko Willis. He's used Mark Anthony Dixon. He's used Jarrell Smith.
Trey Mitchell.
Exactly. Now Trey hasn't got the numbers that these other guys, but he's been in there. He's caught a touchdown or two. So he's been able to spread it around, and even Purnell may catch one or two.
That's right. And guys out the backfield with Tyree Carlisle and Trey Williams, all those guys do a great job, and Kobe does a good job of getting the ball to spread that thing around like you said, and almost like a point guard in basketball, getting it to your hot shooter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, as far as the upcoming schedule, this week, we've got your Tigers playing LaGrange Grangers this Friday night at Callaway Stadium. It stands to be, hopefully, it's always been a community interest and a crosstown rival is what we call it, and hopefully we'll pack the stands and the weather will have moved on through as far as the hurricane goes. And I know Rodney's predicting 75 degrees in the high and beautiful skies. So
football season
should be absolutely. It should be a great night for football Friday night. So I know you posted on Facebook. It's even though we had the week off, we didn't have a game this week. You're anxious to see Tiger Nation show back up, and I know they will. They'll be packing the stands.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have a good representation. Anytime you get away from it for a week, you miss that after a few days. You're just so in a routine of playing in front of big crowds on Friday night and kind of get your blood flowing a little bit. So we're excited to be back out there this Friday, and I know we'll have a good crowd, and I'm sure they will also.
I know that there's some post-traumatic syndrome for you guys as coaches. After the season, you having withdrawals. You want to keep playing. I don't blame you, and I think you guys have adjusted to that. Now it's a 12-month sport. It seems like you guys are always practicing football. But a couple key games. Cartersville is going to be at Sandy Creek, and Sandy Creek actually beat Chapel Hill this past week. And it's amazing how you start the season, and Sandy Creek is at that question mark. Chapel Hill seemed to be the one that was really, as you mentioned earlier this year, they've got some confidence in their team that you should be aware of, and all of a sudden Sandy Creek is sneaking up in there, and
well, I think the one thing that makes Sandy Creek real dangerous is they can throw the football and they have guys that can catch it, and so that anytime you have that going on, they're not as good running the football as I'm sure they would like to be. I think they just offensive line wise, I think they have a few deficiencies. But as far as throwing the football, and anytime you throw the football, it makes you dangerous. And so you have to really respect that. I don't know if they have enough firepower to beat Cartersville, but it'll be interesting to see that score.
Well, the good thing is that Sandy Creek's got them at home.
Sure.
So if you got to give them a little bit of a tick for that, and let's see what happens. But then you got Cedartown. That's all of a sudden is what 2-1 in the region, and they've got an open week this week, so we know where their coaching staff's going to be Friday night.
Sure.
Because next week we're looking at Cedartown.
That's right, and we've had trouble with them the last couple of years. We beat them here like at the very, very end 2 years ago with a play that they very well could have walked out of here with a victory. We went up to Cedartown last year and they beat us at their place in a hard-fought game, and so they're just kind of right there. One of those teams kind of got our number, matches up with us really good, and it comes after a rivalry game for us. So we'll have to have our A game next week.
And of course, you got Chapel Hill. Central of Carroll will be at Chapel Hill. In all likelihood, Chapel Hill should win that ball game. But it's going to be interesting to see in the next 4 weeks how the region pans out.
Sure. Well, Chapel Hill's got a good football team. They're really, really solid on both sides of the ball. Central Carrollton, Coach Smiley and his guys do a great job. They just talent-wise don't have what everybody else has in the region right now, just to call it how it is. Very surprised that they beat LaGrange just because I don't think they have as much talent as LaGrange has. But to see how that game went right down to the wire and Central being able to squeak one out. But the coaches up there at Central do a great job. They just don't have the caliber of guys that Chapel Hill has, so that'll be interesting to see.
Well, it is over the next few weeks. Of course, like I say, we've got LaGrange Friday night, and then our last regular season home game the next week will be against Cedartown. Should be senior night that night. And then we have to travel. The last two ball games, we'll travel up to Carrollton to play Central. And then, of course, we hope that we're in a position to play for that region championship, one that the Troup Tigers hadn't seen since the mid-'80s, I believe.
I think it was 1987. And
so the fans are excited about the rest of the season. And hopefully we'll fill the stadium up Friday night to give the players a lot of support, and hopefully we'll come out positive on that end and the next 3 weeks. And I know we're looking forward, but we're just kind of hypothesizing now. And
enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
enjoy the ride. And there are a lot of things we have to take care of before we get to that week 10, and it starts this week with LaGrange. And I'm sure that it would totally make their season if they came in and knocked us off. And their defense is really, really good. We've heard a lot of talk about their defense all year long, and our guys think we have pretty good defense too.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of took that to heart a little bit this week. So we'll kind of see who has the better defense, and hopefully our offense will show up to play. And so, but anytime in a rivalry game like this, it's hard to kind of dictate and kind of see how the game's going to flow, as we get going down here. So I'm sure they'll be excited, and we'll be excited as well.
And do you have any specifics when you come into a game like this, and with the focus and all? Do you tell you what? Before we do that, the master of ceremonies, Coleman Vice, is saying take a break. So you're listening
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Coach's Show, Troop High Coach's Corner here live from Johnny's Pizza on Eagle Sports. We'll be right back.
Deciding to sell or buy a home is a big step. to make sure it's a step in the right direction.
Strong through every storm. That's how it's been for our first 100 years, and how it will be for generations to come.
Mallory Agency at MalloryAgency.com. For all your insurance needs, it's the Mallory Agency.
At Wellstar West Georgia Medical Center, we believe teamwork makes all the difference in your health. We believe that skilled people GMC.
Have you gotten your flu shot? Now is the time. Holmes Pharmacy is the place to get your flu shot. And if you have insurance, it could be free. So don't wait. Drive right up to Holmes Pharmacy and get your flu shot today at Commerce Avenue in LaGrange, inside the Piggly Wiggly at Lee's Crossing, and in Hamilton. And if your doctor feels you need a high-dose flu shot, Holmes Pharmacy has you covered.
Hi, I'm Perry Prather, pharmacist at Holmes Pharmacy. We have your flu shot ready, so come see me or any of my fine staff at Holmes Pharmacy today.
It is sell down time at Nissan of LaGrange. Richard Cates here, General Manager with Nissan of LaGrange, and it is time to start moving out all of our 2018 inventory to make room for the 2019s. That means the best savings of the year are taking place right now. Have you been hesitant to look because you're waiting for the perfect time? Well, now is your chance. You can visit Nissan of LaGrange on the Parkway or check us out where we are always open at nissanoflagrange.com. Visit soon to receive great pricing and the great experience our customers have come to expect. Nissan of LaGrange, your friendliest hometown dealer.
Now back to the Coach's Corner live at Johnny's New York Style Pizza on Eagle 102.3, WLAG 96.9 FM, 1240 AM, and online at eagle1023.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Troup High Coach's Corner. Before we get started, I want to give a plug for the morning show. You guys listen to Eagle 102.3 every morning. Steve Smoot's got it going on. If you want some local advertising, you want him to support your business and talk about your business, you guys get with Coleman Vice, buy some advertising. Make sure you get on that morning show because Steve Smoot does a fantastic job. He's a avid sportsman. He loves talking about sports. He loves football. And the only thing I don't like about him, he's an Alabama fan. Other than that, he's a pretty good guy.
I was about to mess with you and say he was a big Auburn fan.
Yeah, no, not quite. He does love the sports, and you guys advertise with Eagle. But I tell you, before we went to break, we were talking about kind of keeping the guys focused in the zone. Do you have any special things that you prepare the guys for? Or you tend to look for during the week to make sure they stay in line physically, mentally for a rivalry game?
Yeah, I think it just depends on what kind of team you have. And the good thing for us coming into this year, there was a lot of hype around our program and our football team. And so each week seemed like it was something special. It was something you kind of had to stay focused with or some type of rivalry. In other words, when we went and played Ridgeland, that was a big game because it was an opening game. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right, so then you came back home and you played Columbus in your home opener. Mm-hmm. Then you went down and you played Harris County in a rivalry game.
Absolutely.
Okay, then you came back home and you played Callaway in another rivalry game. And then you had Chapel Hill, who was a playoff team and was undefeated. Mm-hmm. All right, then you had Sandy Creek, who that's turned into a little bit of a rivalry.
Absolutely.
And now you have LaGrange. So every week's kind of the same story.
It sure is.
And the good thing for us is it keeps us in a routine. We don't get too high, we don't get too low. And the thing that's beneficial this week is that we had a bye week, but on the flip side of that, you don't want them to be too juiced up ready to play this Friday either.
That's a good point.
It's just got to go out there and execute and take care of business, and then because then you turn right around and have to play a really good Cedartown team.
Well, and Jack and I often refer on Friday nights that Region 5 in 4A. It's kind of like the SEC of football because, you know, you've got Troup, you've got Cartersville, Sandy Creek, Chapel Hill, Cedartown. You got LaGrange that will be back. There's no doubt about it. And you know, competition breeds success. And it bodes to be a tough region. It is now, and it should continue to be.
Yeah, it's you don't want to cut your teeth in this region, that's for sure. And so when we came in here and we're looking to rebuild this Troup program to try to get it going where we wanted it to go, the schedule was tough, and so this is not one for the weak of heart because of all the teams you just named and their quality coaches and their quality players. And so, but hopefully it'll prepare us, if we make it into the playoffs, it'll prepare us for down the road.
I would agree with that. And we talk about, speaking of being prepared, just your not preseason, but pre-region schedule. The first couple of years, or at least the last couple of years, you've had the luxury of playing a Bowden. Even though the first year you played Bowden, it went down to the wire. I remember we had a 4th and 18. You had to do it.
The Beasley kid over at Hurry County, he kept them in the game.
Yeah.
For sure, and we had a hard time dealing with them. But when we first got here, we had to create some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 1-9, everybody wants to play you. Absolutely. And so we didn't have to look really hard to get a game.
No, that's true.
I just had to answer the phone.
Yeah.
And but once we started winning a little bit and the word got out a little, this year was a lot harder to find some competition. That's where we came into Ridgeland.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to play Harris County just because it's the convenience of it, and then we knew we were going to play Callaway. And so, from year to year, it just kind of varies, but hopefully that non-region schedule prepared us a little bit for the region.
Absolutely. That's kind of where you're right. It was a very tough non-region schedule. And you said as you keep winning and the program keeps improving, you're not going to find those single A schools or double A schools that really want to play you, and you might even have to travel. I'm assuming you got Region's going to come down next year, but you may have to wind up doing some of those.
Yeah, our schedule will flip next year,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have the same non-region opponents next year with Callaway and Ridgeland and Harris County and Columbus. But then the following year it'll flip, and we'll have to find some folks.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's there's a lot of good football teams, a lot of good programs. We don't want to travel too far if we don't have to.
Right.
And we want to make sure if we do travel far, then somebody's going to have a return trip to us. There's a lot of teams.
That's true.
Your 7A schools and stuff. They'll say, "Hey, come on down here 2 years in a row, and we'll buy you out." And we're not really a big fan of that. We want our people to be able to watch us play.
I remember it seemed like a few years back we went to Washington County, and I'm not sure if at Waco we went. That was a long trip. I think I had to put the car on pilot coming back because I was sleeping. I think, and then I think the same year we wound up getting into the playoffs, and that's right. But we wound up having to go back for the first round of the playoffs to Washington County. Not an easy, because there ain't no way you can get to Washington County from here. No freeway. Kind of like going down to Cairo years ago. But if traveling is what means, if that's part of building that winning program and stay in the winning program, that's what it takes. That's what you're going to have to do.
Well, and that's part of it, but also part of it is letting your people and the younger kids see you play. So, when you're traveling to Waco, not a lot of 8-year-olds are making that trip to Waco.
That's a great point.
And so, we want the Tiger Nation to be able to see us play, at least on that odd year.
Mm-hmm.
So we may go down to, a Camden County, but they're going to have to come to us too.
Absolutely.
And so just – that's kind of how we approach things.
I don't want to talk about Camden County, but I don't know that I'd want to be coaching down there because every week you're going to drive 100 miles, things like that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place.
I'm sure, but it's so far down there.
It is. But just throwing that out as an example,
Absolutely.
That was the furthest place I could think of.
You can't get any further, I don't think, in the state of Georgia. I tell you what, we've got LaGrange Grangers this Friday night, Callaway Stadium, 7:30. Should be a beautiful night. You guys, Tiger Nation, we expect you to be there and packing the stands out. It should be go ahead.
Hard to believe this is Game 7.
It is. And congratulations to you and your Tigers. Is that we walk into this game 6-0. Not walk. We've run into this game. This has been a really good season so far.
And we did that as last year as well. We just didn't finish the deal.
Right.
So I think we were 7-0 last year until we went to Cedartown.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hopefully this year we've learned from some of that.
Right.
And so we'll see if our experience helps us a little bit.
Well, with that, listen, we're going to expect to see you guys right here next Monday night talking about this game. The Friday night, we're going to be playing LaGrange. You guys come on, pack the stands. We're looking forward to everybody being out there. Both sides packed, both end zones packed. Let's go. Let's get it. And let's go Tigers. We'll see you guys next week here on the Coaches Show live on Eagle 102.3.
Joel and Rob Upchurch have been breaking sales records every year since 1997. They truly are the real estate leaders in West Georgia. So take a step in the right direction. Contact Joel or Rob Upchurch at RE/MAX Results because they are dedicated to results and converting transactions into relationships.
Hey folks, T-O-double-D, Todd Parrish here with Kia LaGrange. This October we're going pink for breast cancer awareness. For each new car sold, we'll be donating a portion of our sales to Hope for a Day. This month's featured vehicle is a 2019 Kia Forte FE 6-speed. And yep, it's a rule breaker, a limit pusher. It's style and value rolled into fun. Drive out yours today for only $15.98. Shop our complete inventory at anytime on KiaLaGrange.com. Help support your local economy.
Stock number 110922. Price plus tax, tag, and title. See Kia LaGrange for complete details.
Calling all area coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, and more. Mud Creek Team Sales is now selling sporting goods like Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rawlings, and Russell for travel teams, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and more. For more information, call Mud Creek Team Sales at 706-884-5592. Mud Creek Team Sales for all your sporting good needs.
There's a secret to beating injuries or ailments. Get the right team. Emory Southern Orthopedics, well-trained, experienced doctors, nurses, and staff are that team. These teammates listen and understand your specific condition and provide high-quality hometown care that will get you back into your game. For more information about Emory Southern Orthopedics team, visit www.southernorthopedics.com.
What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because a State Farm agent is your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve?
Your State Farm agent is Matt Orr on the square in downtown LaGrange.
Hi, football fans. Jonathan Moosmap here from Glenn Smith in Opelika, Alabama. We love this time of year with all the excitement of football, and we also love that Glenn Smith can play a part in supporting high school sports. We support the team, the coaches, the band, the cheerleaders, and of course the families and the fans. At Glenn Smith, we're proud to be your local Chevrolet Buick and GMC dealer with over 500 new and used vehicles every day. Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. That's Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Now back to the Coach's Corner live at Johnny's New York Style Pizza on Eagle 102.3, WLAG 96.9 FM, 1240 AM, and online at eagle1023.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coach's Corner at LaGrange High School Style. We're here at Johnny's Pizza. We're across the mall out here on Lafayette Parkway. We invite you to come out and join us every Monday night as we have just you never know where you're going to hear music or what's going to go on as we get ready for our show. Coach Gibbs has joined us tonight. You've been out playing tennis, Coach? You got your tennis, or did Tanner give you a visor to borrow?
You know, I figured I've been watching them all weekend, and I figured I'm gonna try the glisten visor for luck. And hey, man, we're pulling out all stops.
Well, if you'll just run up and down a sideline and bark in an ear of an official every once in a while, you'll have it down. That, and maybe if they could get a picture of you up on the stadium on the Jumbotron, barking out something, that would work too.